consideration for fellow visitors. Slow down and give other vessels maneuvering space inside the dock.
Hi there. This is not an Elite Dangerous video. I'm just putting this up here to give you something to look at while I talk. Well, welcome to a lovely Hopi station and the system of Hawaiian, I think this is. Anyway, the reason I'm doing this is...
This facility offers a range of services. Check your info link after docking for more details.
Well, as I was saying, anyway, the reason I'm doing this is my my COPPA video. Everybody else in the world has done a COPPA video, so why not me? So I might as well. For what it's worth, it's not that I really...
Stock on to all vessels. Check your speed inside the docking bay.
It is a little noisy in here, isn't it? It's not that I think this is a great idea for a video, it's just that this is something that's interested me, so I feel like I ought to do it. Anyway, I'm just going to read my prepared statement here. This is actually an answer I gave to someone on Yahoo, and I'm just going to read the text of what I gave them. This came from Clarice in Yahoo Answers, and she asks, how will
COPPA operates under regulations forbidding the use of aggression in or around the starport. Starcon thanks pilots for their cooperation.
Maybe I should do this somewhere else. No, I'll just talk. She asks, Clarisse asks, how will COPPA really change the internet? And I'll just go ahead and read. Well, it's been on the books since the 90s, so until recently I guess it hasn't changed much. I'm sure it's on the radar now because of the drama with YouTube, COPPA, and the FTC though, and this will probably have some effects. The tentative consensus I see vaguely forming with the YouTube creators, some of whom at least claim to be lawyers, and I'm sure some of them actually are lawyers, is that the FTC's public threat to go after individual creators was more for show than anything else. It was a scare tactic, allowing the FTC to exert more influence where this issue is concerned than it actually has the power to exert.
This is a flight regulation announcement. Please refrain from obstructing docking pads.
That guy's getting on my nerves.
Starcon out.
That is, the COPPA law they're citing can't necessarily stand up in court if they try to use it against an individual creator, since the creators are not in fact the operators of the website they're using. The law is directed specifically at website operators. These video lawyers are quick to disclaim, though, that this is just their opinion and none of this has been tested in court. At least not yet. And of course they state that they're not giving actual legal advice and so on.
Starcon thanks pilots for their cooperation.
They also have a problem with the fact that the FTC appears to be claiming to have the power to decide for itself what is or is not a child-directed video, regardless of what creators or YouTube claim, using whatever criteria they plan to use, and their statements about exactly what those criteria will be are very vague.
This offers a range of services. Check your info link after docking for more details.
Damn. And this is the main thing I don't like about this as well. Regardless of what the FTC may or may not actually try to do following their threats, it looks to me like they're claiming for themselves the power to go after what probably amounts to the majority of all the creators on YouTube, based solely on how they might choose to interpret the said criteria, which so far they refuse to specify in anything but these ambivalent terms.
Access to docking pads during arrival and departure.
And this is basically the same thing these video lawyers have been saying as well. In fact, even when they give these guidelines, or whatever they call them, they refuse to state that actually trying to follow these guidelines, whatever they mean, is necessarily any guarantee that the FTC won't cite a violation. So again, regardless of what the FTC might end up actually trying to do on the basis of this, I think what they presented so far amounts to a classic abuse of power, one that should not be tolerated. And I would disclaim at this point that what I mean by not tolerating it is kind of open to question, because, what am I going to do? Seriously. Anyway. So anyway, all said, I'm not worried they're likely to come after me in particular for what that's worth. I may dump videos on YouTube on a regular basis, but one, I've never made a dime off them, never tried to. Two, my channel has never even been monetized anyway, though I might at some point try and flip the switch to turn that on just for grins. And three, even if I did monetize, there's another switch in there that lets me specify that I won't allow personalized ads to be shown in my videos, and the whole basis of getting cited by the FTC is supposed to stem from personalized ads being shown to kids. So even if I monetized, even if I got enough views for YouTube to think it worthwhile to throw ads on there, even if the FTC decided I was making kiddie vids, there wouldn't be any personalized ads on those vids, making them perfectly legal, even according to this whole wacky legal fantasy they're apparently operating with over there.
Docking bay access is bi-directional. Please keep the airlock clear at all times.
So that's my theory anyway. I'm no lawyer of any kind, and I don't even play one on YouTube. So anyway, to answer the lady's question, it looks to me from what I've seen so far that it's likely making kid-oriented stuff on YouTube anyway is going to be a complete waste of time from here on for anyone over there on YouTube who's actually trying to make money. That's probably about it.
Welcome to the starport.
And that's the main difference it's going to make. And that again is something that multiple people have pointed out on their videos. I've been watching videos about this for the last week and a half. It's been very interesting. But again, regardless of all that, despite the fact that I don't think I'm going to be affected, at least I'm pretty sure I won't be, regardless of all that, I'm still not a big fan of this action, for the reasons I gave. It's an abuse of power. Government agencies have no business playing games like that. It's not something that should be allowed around here. Not a good thing. And I didn't mention it in this answer, although I've done it in other places before. By the way, I did happen to notice in the course of looking all this over that the 5 commissioners up there on the FTC, currently on the FTC, were all put there by Donald Trump. Although I'm sure that's completely irrelevant. I'm sure that has nothing to do with any of this. But I just sort of noticed that, and I thought I'd mention it again. Yeah, I'm sure it is irrelevant because it does appear that 2 of them are Democrats of some sort. So you can take all that for what that's worth. But anyway, that's about all I have to say about COPPA. And I really hope I never hear anything about it again after January. It depends on whether or not I do anything else besides what I've done so far. I don't know. It depends on how paranoid I'm feeling in January. Maybe I'll set my whole channel to private for a few days and see if anybody else gets their dick cut off before I make up my mind. But Yeah, again, I don't think there's any real basis for me to worry. If you're not making money on YouTube, if you've got your switches set up right, um, I think you're going to be
Services
okay.
at this starport
I just
are
don't like the
constantly
way
being
they're
updated.
operating there at the FTC.
Remember to
It
visit every
ain't
time
right.
you
It
pass
ain't
through the
normal. It
system.
ain't natural. But in this case, I don't think it's gonna fall on my head anyway. That's all I got to say about that. And yeah. Okay. Well, that's it. That's my COPPA video, which I kind of feel like everybody on here is practically required to make one at this point. But happy Thanksgiving.
StarCon extends a warm welcome to new arrivals at this facility, and Godspeed to departures.